And I'm gonna do roll call for this evening. Mabel and Kelly Ho'omalu. See Mabel here. See Mabel once, twice. Lulu, Lourdes Milan. Lulu.
Here.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Kimio Nakane.
Ew.
Moyata Mokulehua.
Ew.
Brenda Wong. Brenda here. Once, twice. Ted Ralston. Ted Ralston, can you give me verbal information? Kanani Gramberg. Is Kanani here? No. Once, twice. Zoldan Rudolix.
Present.
Currently, we don't have quorum. I have 4.
Mahalo. Ted, when you're able to connect, please give us a vocal so we can ensure that you're there. At this time, we have 4 members present. We do not have quorum to take action on this evening's agenda, but we will provide updates as we continue on. Mahalo. Do we have anyone here that would like to offer a message from our kupuna? Any of our kupuna on this evening that would like to address the board and the community? Okay, seeing none, we will continue to hold a space for the kupuna that want to come forth and educate our community and share. Mahalo nui. Our Olelo no Ea of this month is so relevant, I think, as we're scrolling this evening. It says, Ako e kahale apa'a a ike komo ana mai o ka ho'oilo a ole e kulu I ka ua o hili na ehu. Thatch the house beforehand, so when winter comes, it will not leak into the shower of hili na ehu. In other words, do not procrastinate, make preparations for the future now. Ako e kahale apa'a a ike komo ana mai o ka ho'oilo a ole e kulu I ka ua o hili na ehu. Olelo no Ea number 100. Mahalo nui, gang. Hope you guys are all safe wherever you are tuning in from and staying dry. We're going to move right into our HFD, Honolulu Fire Department. Thank you so much for being here this evening. We look forward to your folks' report. Mahalo.
Aloha, good evening, everybody. My name is Warren Akis. I'm the acting captain today at Waimānalo Fire Station. Everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, some stats for December of 2023. We had 1 brush fire, 1 nuisance fire. Nuisance fire includes a rubbish fire outside a structure or a vehicle fire. And we had 45 emergencies total for the month, with 1 mountain rescue and 1 hazardous materials incident. And those are our stats for the month. We do have a fire safety tip for everyone. If you could just bear with me real fast. It involves lithium ion batteries. If not used correctly, these type of batteries can catch on fire or explode. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions and only use the battery and charging port designed for the device. Charge devices in a cool area with good ventilation. E-scooters and e-bikes should be charged only outdoors, and smaller devices should be placed on a hard, non-flammable surface when charging, and never under your pillow or bed or on a couch. And finally, store these batteries away from anything that can catch fire. And that's your tip for the month. Does the board have any questions or anyone on the Zoom?
Mahalo, Captain. Thank you so much for the information. Members, any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? Seeing none. Anyone from the public? All right, seeing none. Captain, mahalo nui for your folks' service and your time this evening. Thanks for joining us.
Right on. Aloha, everybody. Stay dry.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Do we have anyone here from the Honolulu Police Department? HPD?
Yes, good evening. This is Officer Jared Atkins of the District 4 Community Policing Team. Sorry I missed last our November's meeting. I got my dates mixed up. But the stats for December are as follows. For motor vehicle thefts, there were 2 in December versus 0 in November. There were 4 burglaries in December versus 4 the previous month. There were 16 thefts in December versus 8 the previous month. There were 4 UEMVs or car break-ins in December versus 4 the previous month. And there were 2 robberies versus 1 the previous month. And from November's meeting, Lieutenant Johnny Agu had updated me on what was said at the last neighborhood meeting. So we are aware of what's going on and we're taking some steps to address it. If people weren't aware of what happened last meeting, they were talking about the issues on Waimānalo Street and that area. So one person that may have been causing some problems over there was arrested in December for burglary in a different area. However, that person is still locked up, and so we're continuing to conduct enforcement in the area. I can take any questions or concerns from anybody.
Hello, Officer Atkins. Thank you so much for being here. Members, any questions for HPD?
Aloha. I have a question. This is Moyata Mokulehua.
Toyota, yep, please go ahead.
Aloha, Officer Atkins. Thank you so much for being here and for giving us those updates. That's so much more than it was last month. Oh my goodness. So I represent Puha Street, the Kakaina homestead, and we've been having a problem with a reoccurring person who's been trespassing our properties. And our neighborhood is in really good communication because we have an Instagram page that we share, and this is where we update each other. But people have shared that the pictures and videos of this trespasser in their backyard. So everybody has the Ring cameras and whatnot. The 2 times that we have called the cops, I don't know if we were communicating it in a proper way, but nobody showed up. And I was just wondering if there's a way that you could advise us, or if there's a way we can help HPD to assist with this trespasser who's been coming onto our properties, and if there's a better way to communicate to you guys and how to handle it in a proper way.
Yeah, so
Toyota for the question.
the best thing to do if something's occurring, like right then and there, is call 911. So you said an officer didn't show up last time.
Yeah, we called twice. So it was on December
Mm.
27th and January 3rd. And it was both around like 10:38 and 11:22. And the 2 times nobody came. I'm not sure. It's probably because you guys have been so busy from all those stats. But
Mm.
yeah, I'm not sure if we were communicating it in a right way or if there's a certain thing we need to say. I don't know.
Okay, I'll have to look into that because that's kind of strange. Every 911 call is gonna get an officer to come out. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know the specifics behind that one. It could have
Okay.
been typically if something's occurring, something like that, like continuing trespassing, when you call 911, they'll ask, "Oh, do you want to meet with an officer or not?" And a lot of times people don't want to meet, and so
Okay.
when people don't want to meet, a lot of times the officer will just drive into the area, check it out real quick, and if they don't see anything, they're gonna leave the area because
Of
no one
course.
wants to meet.
Right.
Um, as um as far as it continuing, yeah, the best thing would to do is just call 911 and tell
Ask
those
to meet
people,
an officer.
yeah, ask to meet with an
Okay.
officer and ask them to document it, and then that way they can generate a report, and then I'll look into it as well, and then we can try to take enforcement action if reports start getting generated on this person more and more.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I'll
And
share
you
that with
said
my
you
neighborhood.
you have like a neighborhood Instagram account or something?
Yes. Yes,
What
we
is it?
do.
What
It's
is it called?
it's called Puha Street Homestead.
Okay.
And you should follow it because there's some great
Yeah,
updates.
we definitely will. We definitely
Yes.
will.
Yes, yes. And yeah, and everybody just starts to post when that guy comes in their backyards, and it goes crazy. So
Yeah.
It's like it's a lot of documented trespassing that we have at times and everything too. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. The best thing to do is just call 911 and ask to meet and get
Okay.
it
That's
documented
neat.
because
Okay.
this does kind of occur a lot. And I'm guessing this is the same person that I'm thinking about. It occurs in other neighborhoods, and
Yes.
and we're trying to build a case right now, but we need the documentation to show patterns, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can send you all of the logging that I've done in regards to this problem.
Yeah, sure. You can send it to my email. It's just my name, jatkins@honolulu.gov.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I'll put it in the chat too.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yep.
That's
Mahalo
all.
Moyata. We have a question up, Ted Ralston.
Yes, thank you very much, Officer Atkins, for your explanation. I'm on the Waimānalo Street. We have similar situations to what we heard in Pua Street, and we see patterns that the community talks about. We're not sure if those patterns reach you, because the only way we can actually reach you formally is through a police report, which a lot of people aren't going to bother submitting if there's not a significant intrusion. I'll give you one example. One individual takes things that have lit lights on them, like reindeer that have blinking lights or battery chargers that have a glowing light. Even in my case, if you can believe this, a bug zapper, because it had a light in it. So they take things that make no sense to us. And so there's maybe some indication that useful to you. I think we have the same situation. We're not sure how to communicate that to you in the way we see it, because the only device we have to communicate is through a police report, and there isn't a a section in the police report asking for that sort of thing. So maybe what we should do is get with the Pua Street people and see if there isn't a joint English language paper we can give you or something like that periodically, just to summarize the patterns we see.
Yeah. So again, I know it's sometimes people call 911 and then they're like, well, hey, nothing was really done. But we need documentation, to take further action. However, like, when people become problems, right, and they're basically nuisances to us, right? You were getting these nuisance calls where they're, like one was this guy's coming around and reaching in through a gate and petting the person's dog, and the person tells them to go away, but they come back every day and pet the dog or whatever, stuff like that, right? Then the patrol officers will start reaching out to us and be like, hey, this person, is a problem for us. We have to, patrol has to handle their 911 calls, so they're just bouncing around. However, my unit can handle like long-term problems like this, so they make us aware of this. I know it just doesn't turn into a police report and disappear, and then nothing's gonna happen. They talk to us, and then we'll try and see what kind of action we can take. So the best thing I can say is just try to make those reports, and then eventually we'll try and see what we can do.
Oh, one last comment on that line. When the individual is going to be released, things will probably change again. That's the pattern we see. They come back to the same place they know. So if
Correct.
you can advise us on that, if that sort of thing is in the offing, that would be actually probably helpful.
Yeah. So if the same person just keeps coming back around to the same victims, the best thing to do would to get like a TRO. They can get TROs where the person can't come with 100 feet of the residence and things like that. And then that goes back to the documentation process, right? Documenting this person keeps coming back and back and back, and obviously something more needs to be done than just calling 911 and the person leaves the area.
Okay, well, good advice. Thank you very much.
Mahalo, Ted. Officer Atkins, thank you so much for your service, sir. Be safe. All right,
Thank
and
you.
then recognizing Ted Ralston brings us to 5 members present. We still do not have quorum for the evening. Okay, we're moving on to Board of Water Supply. Danny, thank you for being here.
Hi, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Go
Message from
ahead.
the Board of Water. So for December, there was one water main break, Kakaina Street. This is a 6-inch cast iron pipe. It was originally installed in 1938. And then the message for January, by being better aware of our water usage, we can together learn how to conserve water and some quick, easy tips. Always check for leaks. We have dye tabs available at Board of Water, also at Hardware Hawaii. Replace an old toilet with one that uses less water per flush. There's a $45 rebate available from Board of Water. Purchasing rain barrels, we have a $40 rebate on the rain barrels also. Put a nozzle on your garden hose. Consider planting drought-resistant plants. And that's all for this month. Last month, I just wanted to just share, we do have our 2024 Board of Water calendars available at our Beretania office. Feel free to come down and pick up. We have several if you want for classrooms and such. And that's it. Do I have any questions?
And thank you very much for the update. Members, any questions for Board of Water Supply? Seeing none. Anyone from the public? All right, seeing none. Danny, thank you again for being here and for your service. Mahalo nui.
Thank you. Thank you.
Members, we're moving on. We have Director Laura Thielen, Mayor Bland Giardi's representative. Director, mahalo for your time. We look forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, everyone. I hope everybody managed to stay dry despite all the rain, and your houses stayed dry too. We had a couple of shelters open up tonight through the parks, mostly on the west side, but I think they've all shut down and they're standing down now, so it looks like things are going to be okay. But yeah, stay careful through the rest of the week because I think it's circling back again. Mayor Blangiardi sends a Happy New Year to everyone, all the neighborhood board members. The newsletter, which I think you guys received, this month was kind of a fun thing, just looking at 2023 in review and some of the things the city does by numbers. I'm always amazed when I sit and listen to the other cabinet members talk, but yeah, so we picked up about 823,000 tons of garbage in 2023. So just all the different people in the city who work, it's just kind of amazing that what it takes to keep the island running. We had a couple of questions last time we met. One was the ironwood trees. There was a concern brought up about the dead or dying ironwood trees and the potential for them falling and causing injury. So the Division of Urban Forestry in Parks and Recreation is either just finished or is wrapping up the annual ironwood tree trimming in the Waimānalo beach parks. So some of you may have seen some of the equipment there over the last month at Waimānalo and some other places. So, the trees have to be trimmed annually, and, based on the contract money we have, sometimes it may go a little bit longer than a year in between trimming, but we have it on a regular schedule and they're pretty good. So they trim all of the street trees and all of the trees in all of the parks. There was another question about excessive parking, about and excessive camping at certain campgrounds where trucks have been observed on the sand. The campgrounds are at Hunananiho for Waimānalo, and the Parks Department has extended barricades around Hunananiho Beach Park and the Bellows Field Beach Park camping areas to deter people from accessing the beach from the parking areas. The military has also put boulders up around the perimeter of the campgrounds. But unfortunately, they can't block off every area because they're still using portions of that area for training exercises, and they require to keep it open. If you do see vehicles driving on the beach, please call 911, try to get a license plate number and provide that to 911 along with the time, because then they can follow up with that. And with that, I think that's all the questions we had left over from last time. So I'd be happy to take any questions that you folks may have.
Hello, Director. Members, any questions for the Office of Mayor Blangiardi? Seeing none from the members. Anyone from the public? Okay. Seeing none, Director, it looks like we are good to go this evening. Mahalo nui for making time for us this evening and your service.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, members, we're moving on. We have the filling of 5 vacancies. Unfortunately, because of quorum, we're not able to take action on this item this evening, but we do just want to make sure we vocalize which vacancies are available. We do have an at-large vacancy. We have a sub-district number 5 vacancy in the Waimānalo Village area. We have sub-district 8 in the New Homestead area. This is the area by 7-Eleven. In the Kupuna housing area, okay, not to be confused with the Kakaina and Puha homestead areas. And then we have vacancy in Subdistrict 9. This is the old homesteads to the beach homes at Makapu'u. And we have Subdistrict 11 at Hale'aupuni. So if you're interested in any of these vacancies, please go ahead and contact Lyndon at the NCO office, the Neighborhood Commission office. You'll need to be able to identify your residency, so you have to verify that with him. I do want to recognize Kopi Olanini, who did join us this evening with interest to join our board. Unfortunately, we're unable to take action on that this evening. So Kopi Olani, we look forward to hopefully seeing you in February, where we will have the opportunity to welcome you on board. With that being said, we're going to move on to our community organization reports. We have first up Principal Jamie De La Cruz from Waimānalo Elementary and Intermediate School.
Aloha.
Aloha, Mike.
Introduce our team and VPs and community coordinator. If you will just pipe in and turn your video on and introduce yourselves, as well as what we discussed.
Okay, who's first?
Joe Haley, Vice Principal, Waimānalo Elementary Intermediate School.
Aloha, I'm Tatiana Reed, the other Vice Principal at Waimānalo Elementary and Intermediate.
Aloha, I'm Kainanika Hononui, the Community Schools Coordinator for Waimānalo Elementary and Intermediate School.
All right, team. So if you'll just go ahead and share, we have a couple of minutes. Tati, would you like to talk about today, please?
Yeah, so today we engaged our entire staff on specific training to support our students in these 3 buckets of looking at assessment and providing for students tiered supports for academics and instruction, and also looking at reframing our behavior framework and setting students up for success by building relationships with them and setting limits so that they can learn how to make responsible choices.
Thank you, Tati. Joe? Mr. Hiley, if you will discuss our WASC, our recent visit, please.
During November 27th to the 30th, the Western Association of School and Colleges visited Waimānalo Elementary Intermediate School. Our critical areas, and I'll just go through, there's about 8. Effective Tier 1 intervention or instruction, differentiation and intervention, consistent use of curriculum maps and pacing guides, analyze and interpret student data to modify our curriculum, leverage effective PLC or planning and learning communities and data teams, promote and implement two-way communication with families, facilitate social emotional learning instruction and implementation, and identify personnel and consider course offerings for electives.
Thank you. And one last thing as far as our community coordinator goes, Kaneni, would you just quickly outline what your job and position is with our school and how you're helping us?
Sure. So I look at myself as a connector, meaning I'm helping identify gaps in not only the school, but in the community and how we can all come together and support each other for the bigger picture. And we're always looking on how we can connect with community members who are interested in supporting the school, and just lifting up people's gifts, and if they're interested in becoming part of the school culture and community more. So I can leave information, or I can be contacted through the school also. That's a very short elevator speech.
Yes, and thank you for that. That leads right into our ask here. as always, we are looking at how our community can work within our school as well as our school working within our community. We do have need of tutors and PDT to work with our intervention classes. We have a total of 6 intervention classes, and that's from the period of 11 o'clock to the end of school day. If you have possibilities of contacts or anyone who would like to volunteer, so that we could train you in how to assist our students in intervention strategies so that we can improve their achievement as a whole. So with that said, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please let us know. Aloha.
Mahalo, Jamie, and thank you for inviting the rest of your team to join us this evening. Members, any questions for Waimānalo Elementary and Intermediate School?
I have a question. This is Mayata.
Mayata, please go ahead.
If you, I apologize, I have baby shows in the back, but if you have a flyer or anything like that that you can share, I would love to share it on our neighborhood Instagram and get the word out as soon as possible. If you can send that to us in the chat, I would love to share that.
Let's start with our Joe, if you could, or one of the team members, add in our school website, and then we'll be sure to update that to include that. And we'll also do our social medias. Mahalo for that.
Mahalo.
Mahalo, Mayata. Anyone else?
Chair?
Yes.
If we wanted
Martin,
to,
please.
sorry, if we wanted to publicize that, who should we tell interested parties to email?
You can start with any of the team, and then what we'll do is anyone who's interested can also contact the school or reach out through us through the website.
Your staff posted emails, but I just want when to share. So if you could pick one that you think would be the best place to start.
Start with me, Jamie.
Oh.
Right?
Okay, mahalo.
Mahalo for that.
Thank you, Representative. Okay, I don't see any other hands up. Principal Delatruce, can you help me understand what is this? What are these intervention classes? Are these behavioral classes? Are these academic classes? What is the need here?
Okay, so they're basically what a lot of classes, schools call them workshop classes. So what we're doing is we're re-identifying our students that are, what their needs are. And we're starting with this round with what we call our tipping point or bubble students. We're trying to make sure that we are providing for them those skill sets that are going to push them over in terms of reading and or math. And so the intervention is academic. And so we'd be working with them. And the way we were setting it up is looking at, we've got an online component that we're working on right now. We have a work directly with the teacher component, and then we've got the work directly with our volunteers and or PTTs. So it's about moving our kids and those that are right now on that verge of just needing that extra assistance to move them over, so that then we can then flood it back with those more kids that have need.
Got it. I appreciate the clarification. Thank you so much for that. I see no other hands up this evening, so I want to bid you folks a wonderful evening and a safe return back to the school. Mahalo for your team. Thank you guys so much for your service.
Mahalo. Ohuiho.
We have Blanche Pope Elementary or Kikayapunio Waimānalo this evening. Okay, hearing none. Malamahanua Public Charter School was unable to join us, but I will read her report. This is from Principal Espana. Aohe ulu e loa ai ka pōkole o ka lou. No breadfruit can be reached when the picking stick is too short. There is no success without preparation. Lonoi ka makahiki, our kumu are excited to welcome back our haumana tomorrow, January 9th, after a 2-week break. This olalono'ea reminds us of the importance of adequately planning and preparing. Our kumu spent Friday and Monday working to ensure that we are makaukau for the second half of the school year. We pause to reflect on both the challenges and celebrations for 2023 to best prepare for a successful 2024. And mahalo nui to the board and our community partners to ensure that our kula and ohana are supported and continue to learn about the wealth that Waimānalo holds and how we can learn about and enact our Kuleana Tumalama community. Looking forward to sharing our future endeavors in 2024 at this year's neighborhood board meeting. That's from Principal Denise Espana at Malama Punua Public Charter School. Mahalo. We will continue to press on. We have Hui Malama Okekai. Hearing none, we're going to continue on with Windward Community College, our wonderful Chancellor, Artis Eschenberg. Thank you for being here, ma'am. We look forward to your report.
Aloha, Chair Kane and members of the Neighborhood Board. Excited to be here tonight. Today was the first day of school, and it was a blustery, rainy, my favorite kind of weather day. And we had our welcome back barbecue, and we had tons of students come out for hamburgers and hot dogs. It was really great. It's been a great opening day. Our enrollment is strong. I want to thank all of you who trust us with your relatives' education and your own education. The one thing I'd like to share tonight that's very relevant for our community is that our middle college, Halau Hikili, the Thunder Academy, is open for enrollment for next year. Middle college begins in 9th grade. We may have 1 or 2 10th grade slots open, but primarily we accept students as they transition into high school. They will be located on our campus at the college 3 to 4 days a week. They will have 1 day a week where they go on huaka'i and do work within the community and learn skills. And then 1 day a week on Fridays, they are at Kailua High School so that they can participate in all the different things that go on primarily on Fridays. Assemblies, that's what they're called. Sorry, I was trying to remember. I had a very 1982 word for what assemblies were called, but now they call them assemblies. So school-wide assemblies, they'll be there on Fridays so they can participate in the overall work of the high school. They're able to do sports. They get all the benefits of being at the high school. They can do sports, they can do band. We'll work with it to make sure that they can get back and forth. And in the meantime, they will also have all the benefits of being located on a college campus. They will complete by their senior year minimally a certificate in Hawaiian knowledge innovation, which combines Hawaiian studies, business, and computer science, particularly like web design, social media, so they can be social entrepreneurs with a very strong cultural foundation. But with a very intense senior year, they actually could finish their associates and have their first 2 years of college out of the way. It's a free program. It's open to everyone. We particularly would like to see students from our Waimānalo community to join. And all they have to do is apply for Kailua High School and note that they want to be part of middle college. So it's the general Kailua High School application with a note, or you can reach out to the registrar, Audra Chang, or to their principal, Kim Maeda, Principal Maeda, and either of them can also get them started so that they can become part of Halau Hikili Middle College. Really excited. This year we had our freshman class. They're doing fabulously, like really amazing things. And I believe they've gotten to work with you a few times, Chair Kane, as well. We're really thankful that this is a community partnership. So mahalo. That's all I got.
Mahalo, Chancellor. Thank you so very much. Members, any questions for WCC? Anyone from the public? All right. Artist, mahalo nui. Be safe tonight. We're going to move on, members, to University of Hawaii College of Tropical Agriculture and Human Resources. Do we have Auntie Ilima with CTAR this evening? Okay, hearing none. Anyone from Hawaii Job Corps? Auntie Julie? All right, continuing on, we have the Waimānalo Health Center.
Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you for being here, Jasmine.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect. We look forward to your report.
I wanted to start by saying Happy New Year from the Health Center. We just want to share our appreciation for all the support that we get from our patients, the community, our partners. And so just thank you for that support, and we appreciate being here every month. We wanted to share about some programs to help start the new year off healthy. I'll list a few of them, and if you have any questions, I can put more information in the chat. But we have our Olohoi Kahula program. This is for people with high blood pressure or at risk for heart disease. and it is a program that offers heart health education and also hula instruction. And that's Wednesdays, 5 to 6 p.m. We also have the farmers market. That's every Wednesday from 3 to 6 p.m. And then for those that are living with diabetes, we have a diabetes talk story program. It's offered both in person or on Zoom. It's the third Friday of every month from 8:30 to 10:30. And we also have a diabetes prevention program for people wanting to make some changes in their lifestyle. So contact for that would be Jennifer, and her phone number is 954-7162. We'll also be posting information to our website and social media throughout the next couple weeks with more information on those programs. For those of you where you'd like to or a loved one would like to stop smoking or vaping this year, we have a free smoking cessation program. And for that one, you would call our main line 259-7948. And that's a really great program. And we've seen a lot of success. So those are some programs. Also wanted to share about dental care. We shared last January that they restored the MedQuest adult dental benefits. We're seeing that not everybody knows about that yet. So we're going to continue sharing that message for adults with MedQuest. When they restored the benefits, you now have access to exams, x-rays, cleanings, fillings, and other care. So before, for a period of time, it was just emergency extractions and services. Now there's the preventive care. So we encourage you, if you need to see a dentist, to make an appointment. For Keiki with MedQuest, their visits are 100% covered. And we have our Waimānalo dental clinic, but we also have a clinic in Kaneohe now. For those of you that may have family in the Kaneohe area, that's also available to them. We are still hiring, so anyone looking for a job, waimānalohealth.org/careers, we have all our positions open there. There are full-time and part-time, and we also offer on-the-job training for certain positions. Lastly, I wanted to share about vaccines. We're seeing a rise in flu, RSV, and COVID, so the health center has all of those vaccines available. If you'd like to schedule for one, you would call 259-7948. And then I had some, back from the meeting in October, there were some questions, so I had just some follow-up answers for that. Chair Khanna, you had asked about the annual meeting and updates from there. I wanted to share that we have some new officers. So our president, his name is Justin Lamb. Vice President is Russ Awakuni. Our second Vice President is Catherine Sato. Our treasurer is Jeff Gilbreth. And our secretary is Julie Miho. And other updates from that meeting are about the Medicaid redetermination that's ongoing right now. And also COVID funding. They were talking about how that's ended, but COVID's still very much present. So we have vaccines and testing still available for those that need it. There was a question from Auntie Mabel about how whether or not our mobile medicine goes to Waimānalo Beach Park. I just wanted to confirm, yes, they go. They said they go at least once a week, and it really depends on the needs of the patients. There's been weeks where they're there almost daily, but they're there at least once a week, they shared with me. And then there was a question from Kanani about the dental fillings and what types they are. So our dental director, Dr. Kim, he's gonna join us for next month's meeting and talk more about dental services and what's available, and what they offer. He was going to answer that question. And I think the answer is that they offer both the amalgam and the composite, but I will double check on that one. Those are my updates.
Wonderful, Jasmine. Thank you so very much for the follow-up and for the presentation this evening. Members, any questions for the Waimānalo Health Center? Okay, seeing none, anyone from the public? All right, seeing none. Jasmine, thank you so very much. Happy New Year to you. We look forward to seeing you folks next month.
Mahalo.
All right, gang, we're gonna move on. Do we have anyone here from the Hawaiian Homestead Association? Kenneth Ho? Okay, hearing none, moving on. Bellows Air Force Station. I believe this evening we have Andrea Gatch on with us.
Aloha, everyone. This is Andrea Gatz from Bellows. There's very little to report. We're all just coming back from extended vacations over the holidays and getting kids back off to school. We have no open 106s right now, and beyond that, that's pretty much all we have.
Mahalo for making time this evening, Andrea. Can you just update the community? I know we have a closure coming up soon, right, of Bellows?
Yes, there will be a closure coming up soon. We are actually not supposed to discuss it just yet because it is still going up our chain of command.
Got it. Thank you so very much. Members, any questions
You're
for
welcome.
Bellows Air Force Station? Hearing none. Anyone from the public for Bellows Air Force Station?
Hi, yes, I do. This is Holly.
Holly, mahalo, Holly, go ahead.
I had a question. Does Bellows have a partnership program with the community that they can do certain activities there, like how Kaneohe Marine Base has the PPP program? It's a public partnership program where they can, I think they pay a fee a year. They have to do an application, they have to do a background check and all of application. And then they can do certain things like golf, the bowling. I'm not sure if there's other things. I think they can go to one of the places to eat. Not sure. I just was wondering about that.
We do not have an active program right now. But that is something we can definitely look into. You can reach out to us and we can get the information and maybe try to initiate it.
Yeah, who is there a contact name and number that I can have?
You can probably just contact Major Daewin Chen. His information is in the agenda.
Oh. Okay, got it. Found it. Thank you.
Mahalo, Holly, for the question. Thank you, Andrea, for the comments. I don't see any other hands up, so mahalo nui this evening. You stay safe on that side. Andrea, we'll see you folks soon.
Okay, mahalo.
Mahalo. Members, we're moving on to the Marine Corps Base, Hawaii. We have with us Christy Kaluhiva. Good evening, ma'am. The time is yours.
Hi, aloha, good evening. I'm sitting outside of my house for reception purposes, and I'm going to hope to not get blown away in the process. Colonel Bevan is off island. I know he was listed to come and for us to introduce because he has not yet come to a neighborhood board, correct? Okay, so yeah, he is off island, but it is on his list to do. I do have a couple of things. I know that we were just talking about beach closures. I can say that an email and a hard copy to Laura Thielen's office, we're going to have a beach closure on the Bellows side for the Marine Corps portion for upcoming training on January 19th through the 22nd. And we were still working with the unit because all they're going to be doing is putting a radar on the beach to detect ships in the ocean. And this is just a training. And we're working with them in hopes that they'll be able to just use a portion. And so that would still allow for camping as well as the use of the day comfort station area. If there's any changes, I will let you know. But expect that the 19th through the 22nd that it should be closed unless the unit says, yes, we'll work, you know, we should be able to do it. They'll have guards posted at either side of the radar, and it's you know, not anything to be concerned about. It's just the basic, similar to how the air traffic control towers would also see, you know, the planes coming in and the radar. That's the serious part. I like to talk about the fun part, and that's an upcoming race that we have that's going to be open on January 26th, and it's called the Moonlight Race, and it's a race that goes across the flight line, and it's during the evening time during the full moon. And again, it is open to the public. If the 11th, there's a t-shirt, and it's only $25, I believe. The website has the exact price and everything, but it is a great way for civilians to be able to come onto the base and participate in different events. And then on March 6th, I received a phone call from Blanche Pope. We're going to support their career day, and some of the Marines will come over to the school and talk about different career opportunities and maybe some show and tell opportunity as well. And then we're looking forward to participating in the Fest Pack. I've been working with Bonnie Kahapea in what is needed to support some of the va'a that are coming over from the Cook Islands, Tahiti, to dock and more on the Marine Corps base for the June 5th celebration. And they're going to do a sail on June 5th to Ku'oloa for that ceremony. That is all I have at the moment. If there's any questions.
Hello, Christine. Members, any questions for Marine Corps Base Hawaii? Okay, anyone from the public? Christy, I do have a question. As we heard earlier from the Mayor Blangiardi's office, Director Thielen was talking about vehicular access, and I know you and I have gone back and forth on this. I recognize that the Marine Corps base does actively train on the beaches there at Hunananiho. There are two access points that they utilize. Typically, one has some yellow barriers, and then one is just left open. During the non-active times, I personally believe that that's how vehicles are accessing, because you can just push them out of the way, access the beach, close it off. Is there any way we can strengthen or fortify those two entry points during the times that training is not taking place?
I know that this is a discussion that we have all the time, looking for different ways that, you know, that can be fortified. It is definitely, how can I say it? A stick in our back, a thorn in our flesh, for sure. We'll continue to have that conversation. In fact, tomorrow I'll talk with Dan Giltmacher, is our range manager, and he's the one that I speak with mostly. And we've been out there and walked and thought of different ideas of what we can do, increase our PMO presence. We've spoken with PMO to see if we can more of their activity out there, as if or there's a lack of personnel. That's one of the issues that we hear, but we will continue because nobody wants the vehicles on the beach. It's just bad and multiple different reasons. But we'll continue, and we can continue to have the conversation, and hopefully I can get something more secure.
Got it. Yeah, I would love to, you know, however I can be of service in that conversation, either on site or in the meeting, let me know.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you guys have some ideas, yes.
Okay. Appreciate your time this evening, ma'am. Be safe. Stay strapped down over there. Don't blow away.
Thank you.
Alrighty. I do want to acknowledge, do we have anyone here from Hawaii Army National Guard? Okay, I'm hearing none. I just want to bring to light too, because we don't have a Navy presenter that shares with us, but the Department of the Navy has established a notice of intent to prepare an environmental impact statement. This is regarding overseas environmental impact statement for Hawaii, California training and testing. They have a website available, which I can put later in the chat. And basically, this is going to, the scoping period ran from December 15th through January 29th, 2024. There will be opportunity up until 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on January 29th, 2024 for consideration in the draft EIS or EIS. Comments may be submitted via the project website at www.nipa.navy.mil/HETTEIS /. And I'll put that information in the chat and we'll post it on our social media pages for you folks as well. But that comes from the Department of the Navy. So mahalo nui to them. Members, we're going to move on. Right now we have 7:55. I just want to be very conscious. We are supposed to have some rolling blackouts. Waimānalo is scheduled to have it at 8 o'clock to 8:30, somewhere in that time frame. In the event that we do go through that, if we are unable to connect for any reason, after a period of 15 minutes, the meeting will be considered finished. And then we will have to recheck back in February. So I want to put that out there in the event that we should experience it. I'm not sure if we will, but if we do, we were scheduled between 8 and 8:30. So I want to highlight that. Knowing that, we're going to push on. We have our resident community concerns and announcements placed. Board of Water Supply presentation will be taking place in February. That's my mistake on scheduling. We are anticipating their presentation to our community in February, next month. Waimānalo Apartments, we have Mr. Taylor Hunt joining us this evening for an update regarding the Waimānalo Apartments renovations. Mr. Hunt, Happy New Year. Thank you for making time this evening, sir. The time is yours.
Thank you, Chair Connie. Appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. I appreciate you allowing me to visit you all remotely. So for the past, my name is Taylor Hunt, and I work for Vaughn Bay Construction. We're a nationwide developer of affordable housing and also an operator. For about the past 4 years, we've been applying to the state of Hawaii for financing to perform a substantial renovation on Waimānalo Apartments. It's an 80-unit apartment community in Waimānalo, and the property last saw a substantial renovation about 25 years ago, and it's in need of a capital transformation. It's got significant erosion issues relating to the sidewalks. Basically, we need to replace all the sidewalks, we need to replace all the siding, etc. It sits on top of the state's owned ground lease program, expiring ground lease program, and therefore we believe it should be a priority from the state's perspective to award it financing for the substantial renovation that I mentioned earlier. The Waimānalo Neighborhood Board has been very supportive of our efforts the last 2 years by providing a support letter for our application purposes. And we have a new application going into the state in February. February 16th is the application deadline. And that's basically why I'm here. I'm asked to ask for the community's support for our efforts to improve the lives of the residents at Waimānalo Apartments with an award of tax credits and bonds and renovation of that community. So that's why we're here. We're hoping for the neighborhood support and also for the council members and the representatives that are present as well. I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
Mahalo, Mr. Hunt. Thank you so much for your time. Members, any questions for Mr. Taylor Hunt?
This is Zoltan, and I have a question.
Sure.
There's an area that's designated for playground at those apartments. It's directly across from the Spectrum building. Do you know if there's any plans to do a playground for those kids that live in that apartment?
Is that the state-owned land to the north of the property?
Um, do you know,
Because
it fronts, it front, it's
there's a wooded
this,
area to the north that the
yeah,
state.
no, it's just the opposite. This runs along Kalaniana Ole Highway.
Okay.
Um,
Is it private or public land?
well, I believe it's part of the state property, isn't it? I mean, I think you were talking about the same apartment complex, but maybe I'm wrong.
Are you talking about Weinberg Village?
No, not at all. This is the rental project, the apartments that's directly across from the Spectrum facility. But
And
maybe
you're asking whether there will be a playground installed?
yes, there's a piece that's designated as a playground. And the reason I know that is because I wanted to build an affordable project to extend the apartments that are there now. And I was told that it's reserved specifically for a playground. And nothing has ever been done with that.
I think you might be talking about state-owned land to the north of the property that's properly known as Waimānalo Apartments. And the state has reached out to us to allow us to acquire it if we were to get an award of the bonds and the tax credits that we were talking about. It has, as far as I'm aware, quite dense foliage on it, so we would have to do some kind of navigating with some civil engineers and to see what we could actually fit in terms of community amenities on that acreage that you're talking about. I think it's about 5 skinny parcels, if I recall. But that's certainly in the works from our development plan.
Yeah, that would be great if a playground could be put in there for the kids. It's just been
Absolutely.
sitting vacant there for the last 30 to 40 years, so.
Yeah, and we appreciate the state reaching out to us. Again, we're not able to do anything with that real estate until we receive an allocation of bonds and tax credits.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was the name of your firm again?
The construction company is called Von Bay Construction.
How do you spell that?
And
Is that VON?
V as in Victor, VAUGHNBAY
Oh,
Construction.
Vaughn. Okay.
Yeah. And then the developer is a nationwide entity called Southport Financial Services.
South Fork or Port?
Southport.
Port. Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Sultan, thank you for the question. Mr. Hunt, do you have anything else that you want to add to this conversation this evening? No?
Was that directed at me? I'm sorry.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to add to the conversation?
Yeah, so just to recap real quick, I appreciate that the board doesn't have a quorum during this meeting, and with applications due February 16th, I might want to consider for the community's thoughts. Maybe we take some fail-safe measures to ensure that we have a full application being submitted, and see if we can maybe circle up with the mayor or the city council, or maybe even the housing authority of all entities that should be providing their support for the preservation of affordable housing, to get again, this is very generic support letter that's needed for the application purposes.
And for the record, in our previous conversation, Mr. Hunt, we did supply a support letter. Can that letter be redated to support this application, or are there significant changes in this application that requires us to?
The letter may be redated, and there are no significant changes to this application.
Thank you. We have a hand up, Councilmember Kiaina.
Aloha, Tyler, thank you for your update. I think due to the time frame, because we're a month away and just for processing purposes, could you just send to my office, ekiaaina@honolulu.gov, the relevant materials again so that we could meet the deadline? With regard to the neighborhood board, we will still be able to say that they previously, Chair, you previously done it because it's pretty much the same. It's just that they didn't get funded last year. So most of us were already on record. But but for our purposes, I know for us, it's critically important that we give you an updated letter because you're competing against other affordable housing projects. So again, my email is ekiaaina@honolulu.gov. You need to notify us ASAP.
Right.
Like get in the materials as soon as possible because we have a lot of other projects competing with you.
Right, understood. And it's my understanding that we would need a full support of the city council, and that's why
No, that is not true.
that's not what the state informed us of.
Well, can we talk offline? I do this all the time.
Yeah.
You're talking about LIHTC funding, is that correct?
That's correct.
You need the mayor to write a support letter or the city council member for the district that the project is being either in, or if you have another council member. So that is, to my understanding, the prerequisite. We do this all the time.
Okay, we can circle off.
Not be going to the full city council.
Okay, we can circle off on the side of this.
Yeah, but if you could do it as soon as possible, because we have a lot of requests coming in, and so I want to get it in time for the deadline. Thank you.
Understood, and I appreciate that, Councilwoman. Thank you.
Okay. Zoltan, you have an updated question or comment, or is that a previous hand?
No, I just wanted to follow up. I'm not certain whether it's possible to get Mr. Vaughn's contact information.
Oh,
Mr. Hunt?
I'm sorry, Mr. Hunt. I apologize. If I can get,
I can put my contact information in the chat to the side.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, we do have this topic agendized in our community plan committee on January 16th. So, you know, it sounds like, as Councilmember had previously stated, it sounds like we should be able to just provide you with an updated letter. I don't think that'll have to go through board action because we already previously done so. So, Kelly, we'll have the discussion on the 16th just as we normally would, but we should be able to provide that to you soon.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
All right, members, thank you so much, Mr. Hunt. Have a safe evening this evening. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, gang, we're moving on to the Sierra Club of Hawaii virtual tree planting and native plant giveaway. We have Wayne Tanaka here online with us. Wayne, we look forward to your presentation, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Chair Kane. Aloha, good evening, everyone. Wayne Tanaka with the Sierra Club of Hawaii. Just wanted to stop by and let folks know that we're hoping to have our next virtual planning in Waimānalo at Blanche Pope area. Basically, we're just gonna give away free plants, and we'll have some tree experts, plant experts on hand who can help give advice about what kinds of species might do the best based on folks' situation, like in terms of their climate and backyard and so forth. It'll be on January 20th, starting at 9 a.m. and then until our POW. So we'll probably have about 150, 200 plants, and hopefully we can get them to as many folks in the community as we can. We'll also be, I just want to mahalo the neighborhood board for all of the work you've been doing on the invasive species issues, the little fire ants and the CRB. We'll be testing all the plants to make sure that they're little fire ant free. The vendor we're working with is very conscious about those things. And we'll also be giving away information and hopefully testing kits from the Oahu Invasive Species Committee, so that folks can, also take part in the effort to, try and detect and stamp out the little fire ants before they spread any further. And yeah, and that's I think that's it. But happy to answer any questions. Please come by. Please grab some free native plants, and hopefully you can invite your community to come through as well. Mahalo.
Awesome. Wayne, thank you so very much for that wonderful opportunity for the community to participate in. Members, any questions? Okay, anyone from the public? All right, we look forward to seeing you there, Wayne. Thank you for choosing our community.
Of course, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. All right, do we have anyone else this evening? I understand we have Holly is here as well, and then we have Brian from Department of Transportation. So I want to give Holly the chance to provide her update, partly because it is my error of not adding her to our board's evening agenda regarding her request from last November's meeting. So Holly, my apologies. We will have you on our February agenda, but would you like to share any comments before we go to the Department of Transportation?
Yes, I wanted to know if there would be an allocation of money or monies, is that how you say it? Allocation for the pump track. And also if the question that I wanted to pose to Senator Thielen is that, Laura Thielen, is that since we don't have the monies yet, can we do the dirt pump track in that space that she allowed us for the solid surface until that comes about?
Yeah, that was the board's, that's going to be faced before the board because the board would need to support that decision and then provide the director with
So I
that
believe that
instruction. So
that was all voted on, the idea and all of that. I thought we did all that. That's why I'm confused.
I don't recall us taking that initiative to say that we were going to do it first before the skate park.
Well,
I thought that was
we
part of
we
this
talked
need
about
to
it.
rejoin us.
Yeah, because we didn't have the monies for it. So we said that that could be a possibility. And
Yes,
then
a
that's why
possibility, but
so if it's not for that area, can we use another area that is not flood zone? And according to the map of it, where I think it's DPPR or what is it? Department of Park DPR. They said where the flood zone area is. If we moved more to the right or left, that looked like it was to be okay according to that map and what he said on that map. If they don't want us to use the area that was allocated for the solid surface pump track.
okay. My understanding, and Director, please correct me, is that we needed to, as a neighborhood board, support the decision, Holly, the recommended decision because of the funding lapse to go ahead and move forward with the bike pump track while we work on the funding for the skate park. That they were to be merged as concepts, correct?
They were going to be, it was talked about to be merged, and my duty was to try and reach out to 808 Skate, Chuck Misui, which has not been
Correct.
reachable from the summertime. I've been trying. So this is what we have been
You asked us if
asking.
you could pursue going forward with the bike pump track first while we coordinated funding for the skate park, correct?
Yes.
And that's what we're here to discuss. That has to come before the board. And that's what this reassignment to the agenda is for, so that the board can hear the state that you're at right now, where you're asking us to then consider putting the bike pump track in that location first, and then eventually build the skate park out. That's what needs to be agenda. That's what the director is waiting for on our part. That's my understanding.
Okay, and then can someone answer me about is there money being allocated for it? For 4
the
years?
skate park?
Yes.
Okay, I don't have that answer for you at this
Right.
time.
So I'm asking Esther Kiaina or Ms. Thielen, is there any
Let's
monies?
give the director an opportunity to respond, and then if council member is on and hasn't any idea about that, we'll go through council member.
Chair, thank you. This is Laura Thielen for the Parks Department and Administration. Currently, there is no funding in the budget for any type of skate park or pump track. There is funding in the budget for the Waimānalo Pavilion, design and construction, and there is design funding for the comfort stations at Waimānalo Beach Park and the recreation building. We are finishing up the recreation building at Waimānalo District Park, and there is funding in the budget for the roof at the gymnasium. They will not start the gymnasium construction until they finish the recreation building. I confirmed that this last week. We have worked with DDC on whether there is room at Waimānalo District Park for both a pump track and a skate park, and there is not. DDC has confirmed that all the area of Waimānalo District Park is in the flood zone except for that portion of land in between the basketball, tennis, pickleball court area and the rec building. And that really would only fit one or the other, or some type of design that may be able to accommodate both. Holly, I'm glad you're on tonight because I did want to try to connect with you about the area out at Cocoa Head District Park. I don't know if that would satisfy you as an interim, but we do have a volunteer out there. I think you've met with them as well. And I'd like to take a look at, what we might be able to do in that area. I'm not sure if you're physically located in Waimānalo and kind of have your heart set on there, but in the
My
meantime.
heart is set for the kids of Waimānalo and the community.
So in that
Yeah.
case, I think what we would ask at the park department is to have you work with the neighborhood board to see if the community could come up with a solution that could work for all the interested parties in Waimānalo. It's very hard because there's a limited area of land. We do not want to pick one over the other. So we'd like to see that dialogue take place at the community level, and we'd be happy to help support that.
Correct. So my question was, until to do the solid surface, we need funding. Until then, my question is, can we do the dirt track for now? And then if we ever do get funding, we can mingle it together or put the dirt in the ground where it's going to go and the solid surface can go right over it, or
So
I don't know where the funds are
And
going
that's
to
what's
come
going to be
more.
agendized. That's what's going to be, that question, Holly, is what sits before the board currently. So that's our February agenda item, which was supposed to take place this evening. Because that's not a question that the director can answer. She's waiting for the recommendation from this board.
Okay, I thought sorry, I'm getting confused, I guess, because I thought we went over all of this, that we discussed that if we didn't have the funding for it, to go ahead and do the dirt.
We've had discussions about it, but this board has never taken a stance on it, which is why it needed to be agendized, rediscussed, and the board take an official stance on it so that stance can be reported to the director for action.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
Alrighty.
So in February, we will have it agendized, your exact question, to put forth the bike pump track, the dirt track, ahead of schedule with the skate park due to funding. And then we will have to connect with the council member's office and see what the timeline to get funding into a budget in the future for that skate park at some point. That's going to be the next step from there.
Don't we need to have, okay, can we ask for funding from the state?
I'm sure we could. I don't know that process. It was previously done through the city council. So if our state representatives see that there's an option there and we can look for funding there for a skate park at a city park, absolutely. I don't see why not. We're just going off of the previous system, which was through the city council and then down to city parks.
All right.
So in February, we'll have it agendized, your question, and the decision of the board to support putting in a bike pump track, the dirt one, would be what we would recommend out to the director for action. And then we can take the next steps from there. That's currently where we are.
Is it
should I start, is a petition just as good, or do I need to do a petition for that?
I don't know that you need a petition in any way. I
Okay.
mean, any names, we know that this is important. You've been working on it for several years. We recognize that. We also
Okay.
recognize that the community has also committed to a skate park years ago as well. And it's not this board or this community's fault that the funding failed through the cracks and we just didn't receive it. So where we are right
Okay.
now is we have a previously committed program, park parcel, which was committed to skate park. With your updated idea concept, we know we cannot do currently the two of them in the same space currently, so we're looking at your recommendation to put in the bike pump track first, noting, right, that when and if funding should come through for a skate park in that same parcel, that they will be built in cohesion, because one was not to replace the other.
Correct.
Okay, that's where we are at. So if we're all clear on that, we'll see you in February for that discussion with the board.
Okay, mahalo.
You're welcome, Holly. Thank you for your perseverance in this. We appreciate it. Director, mahalo for your time. Is that correct? Your understanding?
Yes, and I also just put into the notes, I just want people to understand that even if it's a volunteer-built pump track, the amount of dirt that would need to be brought in is going to trigger a lot of regulatory review. You know, that is going to have to go through the Department of Health, Aquatic Resources, and a number of other places, because even though
I
that
have
yeah. So all I'm saying is that it is going to, it's not going to be a free of charge effort. So just to keep that in mind.
Yeah, so I believe you said last time it needed to be clean and tested dirt, and I have a company that has that.
So there'll be some
So it's
regulatory
the
review.
regulatory review is not by our department. It's not by the Department of Parks and Recreation. It would be done by a series of other departments who would be taking a look at state and federal law. And
Right.
so yeah, that would just have to go through that process.
Yeah, because I believe that company works with the state already.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, mahalo for getting your ducks in a row, Holly. We appreciate it. And Director, we look forward to the next steps to get some of those things acted on. Mahalo. All right, we're going to move on, gang. Department of Transportation. Brian, thank you for joining us this evening, sir. We look forward to your update. Mahalo.
I just have one update on the Kalanianaole Highway Improvements Phase 2 project. And the new schedule for completion, substantial completion of the project is now the end of this month, January 2024, pending weather and any additional work.
Okay, this weather has highlighted several challenges, Brian. We have a lot of flooding in areas that were not previously known to have some extra water. So we look forward to sharing with you some of that video and pictures and see if we can come up with some solutions. There's areas along Kalanianaole in the homestead area, along Olo'olu Street's homesteads, that now properties, there's visible water, puddling in properties where it probably wasn't before. The roads through the Olo'olu Street homestead have always been flood areas where water runs and settles with nowhere to go. And we noticed that, especially after today's type of rain, maybe it's just circumstance, but it needs to be looked at. There's significant more water pooling in areas that are along Kalanianaole now. So I think we need to make some time for that conversation, including right here at the school. The exit of this school area has a significant pooling of water that was not there prior to the changes. So there's some elevation and pitch kind of concerns I think we got to talk about. Mr. Ralston, you have a question for DOT?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Kimi. I was going to make similar observations. We did observe that a year ago and put it in our work list with Brian, as you know, because the beach lots drain towards the highway. And then adding all the improved pavement reduced the ability of that water to percolate out. So we have that situation. We took notice of it at that time, but it's not within the contract scope of the resurfacing program. That was the status at the time, and so we need to find some other way to address that. And so I just wanted to bring that up. But I also would want to ask Brian if we can get in touch with the people who are thinking about phase 3 from around to Sandy Beach area. I think that design work's underway, and the sooner we can get access to that, those people thinking through what's going on there, maybe we can bring some of these issues we normally see late in the game into the front part of the game and address them ahead of time. So if you can hook us up with those folks, that'd be great.
Yes, I can do that.
And then thank you, Ted, for your comments. Brian, can you also make a note? There was supposed to be an extension of guardrail on the beach side of Kalaniano Ole near the old Korea Ranch. That extension has not yet been completed, but there are portions of guardrail going up on the Mauka side, which previously we did not have. Do you know if that's something that's going to still take place, or what can we expect from that? If you can follow up with that as well, that would be great.
Okay, if you can give me the specific locations, I can look into that.
Can do. I will coordinate that through Ted, and we'll get that over to you.
I can just say that we did bring that up on our last walkthrough, Kimmy, which was probably in November, and the design data was pulled out, and the information at the time.
I know it's coming because I got my rig notices.
Yeah. Okay. So we did shut off. Anyone still on? No.
I'm still on.
Oh.
I can hear you, Brian.
Did we lose everybody else?
Can you hear me there, Brian? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Is anyone else connected still?
What else got is in the area?
Okay, Andrea here. I'm still connected.
Because I'm connected.
Thank you.
This Wi-Fi.
Sorry, who is that?
Connected.
Okay. Okay. Well, we didn't have quorum anyway, so it's not like it's not like we had to take action anyway. Yeah, if we can, members, at this time, anyone that's still present, if we are on, sorry, can we just change this view? Because we did lose power here at the public library. We still see many of you folks on. Is that accurate? Can you, if you're online, can you at least maybe do a hand up or something that you're still present? Gloria. Okay. So it looks like majority of you folks still have some kind of access. As I shared prior, we don't have quorum, so it's not like we cannot move forward, but we are sitting in the dark. So if we can ask for a real quick recess and see if power is going to go on in the next couple of minutes. If not, we can try and push through with flashlight. But I will take our recommendation from our NCO assistant here this evening. So what's your recommendation, Lyndon?
So we could recess in the meantime. And if nobody can connect, then we would have to just adjourn the meeting.
Okay. Okay, gang, we're gonna take a quick recess. I don't know what the minutes are gonna look like as far as it goes. If you can keep your laptop on, great. If you cannot, we bid you farewell until the next time we can re-meet. But we're gonna try maybe about 10 minutes or so, see if we can get another connection going. Until then, yeah, that's just where we're at, okay? Because it's gonna get hot in this building very quick. And we're gonna go outside. Sorry, Kako. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Anybody there? Okay, mahalo, Jasmine, artist. So the situation is that electricity came back on here at the public library. We have lost over 2/3 of the participants of this particular meeting. So we are supposed to by rule have 30 minutes to be able to reconnect, and that 30 minutes has already expired. And then we are looking at potentially holding a few more minutes available for people to reconnect. If we cannot get them to reconnect, then we will have to call the meeting to a close due to that disconnection. So we're still trying to gather some information from the NCO about how to handle the circumstance, because we do have some people connected, but we actually have no one else from Waimānalo still here, with the exception of myself. So while we have electricity here at the public library now restored, I don't know if that's the same for everyone else. So that's the update. What, 9:05 ish?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna stay on. Electricity hopefully stays on, willing, till about 9:05. If we can't have folks rejoin us at by then we will have to close the meeting for the evening. I apologize for the inconvenience this evening. If you are still on, like I know council members still on, Jonathan, thank you so much for being here. Melody, if you folks have information that you guys want to broadcast out, please feel free to email it to me so that we can get that posted at least to our website, our social medias, if you do have some reporting that you want to do. Otherwise, we're gonna hope people come back. We'll send a text out to our board members and see if they can rejoin us, and we'll go from there. So that's the update. Mahalo for your time.
Mahalo, Chair Kane. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Little case.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Little. Well, my little nerd pop culture.
Ed Sultan Mayata. Okay, let's see.
Oh, this is,
also card.
oh. It's for you from artists, and she just left.
Oh. Don't read them out loud. Nan.
But then, yes, because even if we could be in the meeting, it's only an idiot year old.
Yeah.
If we would, well, just take.
Zoltan, thanks for coming back on.
My pleasure,
We're
guys.
trying to see if we can get the rest of the board members at least back on so we can hear the rest of the presenters that made time this evening.
Sounds good.
Lulu is back on. I know Moyata is trying to log.
Can you hear me? I can't hear anything. Is anyone talking?
I can
No
hear
one's
you, Lulu.
talking, but I can hear you.
Okay, I got sound now.
Thanks, Lulu. So we're just, if we can get Moyata on at least, then that'll be 4 of us, then we can actually go from there.
Sure.
That's most of the Waimānalo people. The rest are all presenters. And then we only have Ted that's not available. Just maybe 2 or 3 more presenters, and then you can call the meeting.
Yeah.
Moyata, is that you on the phone? Star 6 to
Yes,
unmute.
this is me. This is me.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
So we
dialing
do
in.
have, thank you. We do have 4 of the 5 board members that were present. So
we
I'm
have
going to make the
quorum now?
recommendation that. No, we still don't have quorum. We need 7 for quorum.
Oh, shoot.
But
Okay.
we wanted to make sure we had a majority of Waimānalo folks back on before we progressed. Because that's kind of that's kind of where we're at. But if it was just me, we would have to cancel the meeting. But being that there's 4 of the 5 members that were present prior, and the majority of the participants were presenters, I feel comfortable just asking the rest of the agenda item aspects to complete their presentations because they've stood on for us. So if we're good to go, then we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and call the meeting back from recess at 9:06. We apologize for the inconvenience. Mahalo everyone working hard to keep our community safe during this weather. So we're welcoming everyone back. We were just completing a conversation in the resident community concerns and announcements piece with the Hawaii Department of Transportation. And so we're going to conclude with that. And recognizing that, we're going to move on to our elected officials report, starting with our council member. Council member, I appreciate your folks' patience and understanding. If you want to provide your report at this time, we'd be happy to take it.
Okay, thank you, Chair, and thank you for the community and others who have come back. I'm assuming you can hear me, correct? Okay. I'd like to
good to go.
I'd like to introduce Irene Lemos. She's a new staff member of mine, and she will be helping to cover Waimānalo for me. Gloria Palma still works for me, but she is going to be covering Kailua, and of course they'll overlap. Irene, if you could please put your email address in the chat box for the community to contact you. I know that invasive species is top of mind for everyone. And on Wednesday, January 10th at 2:30 p.m., the Committee on Housing, Sustainability and Health will be holding a hearing on a resolution that I introduced, Resolution 23-308 with Councilmember Wire. Irene will put the link to the resolution in the chat box as well as the agenda for the hearing. This is a follow-up to a lot of the town halls that we held. It is asking for the city administration to report on current and planned efforts related to invasive species control. And on Wednesday, we will also be having an informational briefing on the coconut rhinoceros beetle and little fire ants by the Hawaii Department of Agriculture. The second item I wanted to talk to you about was Bill 64, 2023 FD1 that was reintroduced. This is to keep Bill 10, 2022 alive because it will expire shortly. And if anyone has any interest in learning more about where we stand on Bill 64, which relates to the land use ordinance, we have in the chat box our website, honolulucitycouncil.org/Bill 64. Also in the chat box, you will have a link for the agenda before my planning on the economy hearing on Thursday, January 11th at 9 a.m. We will be providing an update on where we stand in the overall process for Bill 64, and the Department of Permitting and Planning will also give its overview. As many of you know, we have already completed both industrial and commercial uses. The next on the agenda will be residential uses in February and likely March, followed by public, civic, and institutional, and then agriculture will come shortly thereafter. So I know many of you are interested in the agricultural portion of this. I don't anticipate that until several months from now, but at least we've kick-started the process, and I'm very pleased about that. And I believe that's all I had. I just wanted to mahalo both Leala Cook and her team, as well as the Waimānalo community, for a very successful Waimānalo Christmas parade in December. And that's my presentation, Chair.
Mahalo nui, Councilmember Kiana, and welcome to our community, Irene. Thank you so much for serving in your capacity. Members, any questions for the council member? Okay, seeing none. Anyone from the public? Okay, seeing none. Councilmember, I have a problem, and I want to ask your mana'o on it. We've been talking and hearing a lot about affordable housing and low-income housing projects, etc. Where should I begin if I want to start to look at housing equity by geographical space or by zip code? So, for example, of Waimānalo's density, housing density, what is the percentage that is low income? What is the percentage that's listed as affordable housing? Are there differences? What are the percentages? Is there any recommendations you would have and to find out where that is? And the reason for that is I don't believe that across Oahu at least, that each community, each zip code rightfully is doing their share in hosting affordable housing projects and or low income projects. It feels like as a rural community, some of us are bearing more of that burden than other parts of Oahu. Do you have any thoughts on, is that thought wrong?
That's a really good request. So Irene, you and I were going to have a follow-up discussion tomorrow. It's a little complicated, of course, because you know, there are likely federal guidelines for their affordable. So I'm assuming census as a source. There will be the state of Hawaii with their data and the city. So what I like to do, if you don't mind, I will work with the mayor's director of housing, Denise Isiri Matsubara, because she was, of course, at HHFDC, and as well as my chief of staff, Jocelyn Doan, to find out. There may be information available, but not to the degree that you are talking about, because so in my mind right away, for example, the variable of Hawaiian homelands, Oahu wide, I don't even know how that fits in, but we could at least get that data, right? With regard to city and state affordable projects, there's that, right? And then there are private affordable housing projects. There has to be a data base for that. I'm just not certain if it's all in one place. And again, going back to the US Census, they have their, I'm pretty sure HUD may also have based on census data. But I'm not quite certain if all of the criteria would be across the board. At a minimum, however, we should see whether or not we could get an inventory of the universe that I just explained, whether it be federal, state, and county and private affordable housing projects, and the requirements or definitions that they have for such. Is that okay?
Okay. That's absolutely wonderful. If there's any way I can help with that, please task me with that as well. I'd love to
Yes.
be there.
So I will put in that request, and what I could do if we don't get all of the data we want here, I could ask for one of our congressional members. They have access to the Library of Congress's Congressional Research Service, but they're the ones who have to request it. But it is a service to constituents that if we put in a request, they would specifically ask it of a specialist at the Library of Congress. It would have to be, of course, whatever data they have from the federal government. But again, I will follow up with the state and county resources that should also have the privately funded affordable housing project.
Much appreciated. Thank you so much, Councilmember. Sultan, you have a comment?
Yeah, I do. I think that the first place that you might check with is Department of Planning and Permitting, because it's required now that you designate what kind of projects you're doing. If it's affordable, it will be listed with the Department of Planning and Permitting.
Thank you for that feedback. I think maybe offline, Sultan, I'd like to pick your brain on that as well. It seems like you have some history in some of this topic, so I want to get your thoughts on this offline.
Okay.
Thank you, Sultan. For me, I'm going to put the onus on the Mayor's Director of Housing. It's her job to work with all of the relevant city agencies, including the Department of Community Services and the Department of Land Management.
Okay, great.
In addition to DPP, okay?
Thank you.
Got it. Mahalo nui. Thank you. Okay, we are going to move on. Thank you so much, Councilmember. You folks be safe.
Aloha.
Ahoy. I do not see State Senator Chris Lee online. Representative Lisa Martin hasn't reconnected. We have Governor Josh Green's office. Jonathan, was your presentation going to be through this line with Tony?
Dexter asked me to attend to provide a quick update for LFA and Koki and CRB. So I didn't, because I didn't see anything on the agenda, so I didn't know where I was.
Yeah,
I can do it now,
we had requested the department to be present through the governor's office. So that was Anthony Benaviste, but he's not here right now. But I would be happy to give you some a few minutes to share your presentation or your update at this time.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so Jonathan Ho, I'm the acting manager for the Hawaii Department of Agriculture Plant Quarantine Branch. Thank you folks for sticking it out through the power outages and the wind and the rain. And yeah, so I just have a real quick update for you folks with regards to LFA, Koki, and CRB. Koki right now, I think is the most obvious one, all the way up in the mountainside. We've been working with OISC, and we've installed a pipeline through the area to pump citric acid out. Unfortunately, the OISC crew leader, he I think got another job, so they're in the works with trying to get another person to get that going. But hopefully we can get that going sooner than later. The weather, unfortunately, isn't very good for ground spraying. Obviously, with the rain, doesn't really work well with citric acid spraying. But once the weather clears up, we're looking to start using that pipeline, put it to use, and see just how effective it's going to be, and then obviously expand based off of that. For CRB, the department did get some money last year from the legislature, and it was just released. And What we're doing now is focusing primarily on preventing additional spread outside the island of Oahu. Obviously, you folks have probably heard it. They found it in Waikoloa Village, in what golf course was on Maui, and then a small breeding population on Kauai. And what we're doing is ramping up for equipment to start to be able to manage treatments for the eventual additional detections on outer islands that includes getting large sprayers, the chemicals, and drones. Actually, drones we found to be quite effective for obviously coconut trees 30 feet up in the trees, and getting staff licensed for pesticide use. The most effective pesticides are RUP, so restricted use. So the department has very limited applicators, licensed applicators. So we're working on getting more of those so that we can, licensed applicators and then licensed drone operators, because obviously you need FAA licensing and things like that to fly the drones. So we're working on getting all that stuff. And then we're also working on additional treatment or trying to discover additional treatments that are effective, that can be used by, I guess, non-commercial use, so homeowners and things like that. A lot of the chemical treatments right now, again, obviously are RUP, so obviously the homeowner is not accessible to them. So we're looking at trying to find products that can be used safely and purchased, obviously, for the homeowner that are effective. We found some, I forgot what the name of the product, Safari, no, not Safari, not Rodeo. I keep it, anyway, but there's one product that they found some limited effectiveness, and it's not RUP, but it's not terribly effective. So the department is utilizing that money to develop effective treatments. Things are labeled, doesn't mean they're going to be effective for CRB. For, I guess, in the Waimānalo area, we have not been getting like a lot of reports, thankfully, for CRB. But again, folks do, suspect breeding or damage, please let us know, and then we can send crews out to confirm things like that. For LFA, there are 3 known sites in the Waimānalo area. One of them, the department, I think it was in the beginning of November, we worked with them to conduct treatments and heavy surveying. We did, 5 or 6 surveys of their entire property to determine extent of infestation and then to track where they should be treating. Throughout the course of the month, each infestation smaller and smaller and smaller. And the last, at the last survey, we didn't find any LFA. So that's good. That means they're at a sub-detectable level. That doesn't mean they're eradicated in any way, shape, or form. So now they're at this point. We're working with them to ensure that they're maintaining best management practices, and we're going to go back in the next month or so, obviously weather permitting, again, to do another comprehensive survey to make sure that they're maintaining or doing the things that they need to do to ensure that they're not, having LFA breakouts and then spreading it, obviously, potentially throughout the community. There was a larger landscaping nursery, little bit recalcitrant. We were able to get them to start working with HAL, the Hawaii Ant Lab. They started treatments in the beginning of December. So they've been treating for about a month. But they've been working directly with HAL. So I didn't get a chance to talk to Chris, but they have been working directly with Chris to do the treatments. And you folks have worked a lot with Chris, and he knows what he's doing. So I'm sure that one is getting well under control. And then the last nursery, a little bit recalcitrant. We had some issues determining the owner versus the occupier. But I think they realized that being recalcitrant isn't going to help them. So they voluntarily started working with HAL, and we're hoping that we can get treatments with them soon. So those are the 3 that we have. We have found 2 additional places out on Windward side through reporting, public reporting, and we're working with those outlets to ensure that, obviously they're not spreading LFA. They weren't very large infestations, thankfully quite small. So we're working with them to make sure that they don't have LFA. But yeah, we really appreciate you folks, kind of spearheading this effort and, being boots on the ground and reporting so that we can be out there and, get folks to do what needs to be done. And then, yeah, I can answer any questions that you folks have.
Jonathan, thank you so very much for your update. Members, any questions for the Department of Ag? Yeah, I have some for you, but I'll go ahead and we'll take Councilmember Kiaina's comments first, and then I'll have some follow-ups with you, Jonathan. Councilmember, please.
Thank you. Just real quick with regard to your comment about OISC and the leadership departure, are you telling me that Nate is leaving?
No. Not Nate. It's the what the heck is his name? John. He's their like rapid response guy. He was only there for
I got it. And but his absence is not going to hinder you from working with the appropriate entity to move forward, correct?
No, it's more actually the actual applications. That's going to be more, I think, the harder part logistically from a manpower standpoint, not necessarily access and things like that. We're still working together to manage all that stuff.
Okay, so his absence is not going to impede your effort to move forward.
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure. And then you gave me a heart attack because I thought that Nate was leaving. And
yeah, no. Nate is not going anywhere.
Our resolution tomorrow, I mean, this week is very important because the first time the city and county of Honolulu is going to be expressing its support for OISC. And we are trying to strengthen our relationship with the state and feds on just overall coordination. So thank you for that clarification.
Mahalo, Councilmember. That actually leads me into my question, Jonathan, and I don't know if you're the person to answer it, but will the department be in support, providing verbal support for this council members, our council members' resolution? Do you know if you folks will have the ability to take a stance and share your support for this?
That is something above my pay grade, unfortunately. That's the first I've heard of the resolution, and thank you, council member, for putting it in the chat. So I think it's in there, but yeah, I was gonna take a look and make sure that the chair and the deputy are aware, because I'm not sure.
The deputy is aware.
Okay.
Dexter has been on all of my communications, so he just probably has not shared it to you because they're going to be at the informational briefing as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Knowing that, Jonathan, can you please share with your chair and your deputy that this board expresses very hopeful relationships to be built. So we look forward to their department's support of this council member's resolution. Pass that little nudge on to Dexter and to Chair Chang at this point, or no, Chair Hurd, excuse me. We hope to see you guys there. So thank you. Mr. Ralston, question.
Yeah, I just had an observation I want to pass on. We had at least the one I attended in Kailua of a all three species discussion with that Rep. Martin had put in place. I think it was maybe a month ago or so. You might have been there. I don't remember all the people were there. But having my first contact with the multiple agencies that are involved, each one of them spoke enthusiastically about what to do, but it was like not a way to understand how to put it all together. That is, the average person would probably be bewildered as to what they're supposed to do. And so I took a crack at writing up something simple that says, this is what you do. And it doesn't matter about all the organizational hooky. That's their problem. Our problem is, what do we do? And to try to deconfuse it and make people voluntarily want to come forward and do something rather than try to sort out the maze of who to talk to. So I'm glad to send it to you, but if we could somehow have simple guidance And we don't care about the organizational structure behind it or who's got budget. That's not important. It's what do we do? If you just shoot me your email, I'll send you what I wrote, and you guys can use it as a starter point if you want. But I think simple guidance is going to be essential here, especially since we're asking the public to solve the problem. And that was pretty clear in Jared's comments that we need everybody to work on the problem. And we can't ask you as department to do something that's like, you know, at the scale of the island. So shoot me your email and I'll send you what I wrote. Whatever it is. Got it.
Mahalo, Ted.
Right.
Jonathan, that does bring up a comment. Personally, I want to know, does the department need more help from this neighborhood board and this community in communicating with other potential places that might not be taking action at this time in Waimānalo? Do you need our help to knock on some doors?
At this point, I'm not aware of anybody like that.
Okay.
And I think the you know that one person that we were kind of working with, I think once they found out that I think we're looking at outing people, which is something the department has really not done. They changed their tune quite quickly, and I think they really the fact that we're taking that stance, which is something that obviously the department doesn't do, means we want to show them that we mean business, because obviously we don't want you folks to be affected or everybody else to be affected by LFA. And there's a lot of things that can be done, and we just need them to be part of the solution. And I think you were there at that one meeting with the industry folks, and a lot of them, right? They the majority want to do the right thing. They're not bad actors, and we just need to really proverbially give the boot, or not the boot, but kind of kick these folks in the butt to do the right thing for those again, the minority of folks. And that's what we need to escalate. And and I think the fact that they're seeing that happening, maybe not necessarily to them, it's better for them to come forward and face the public outcry, because obviously that doesn't help them. So let's work
Right.
with, we want to work with them to get rid of the problem.
Got it. In regards to CRB, I mean, in Koki frogs, has the department had success moving forward with the Department of Hawaiian Homelands to address some of the more Malka properties? I know there was some previous possible access issues. Are we working actively with them?
Yeah, so DHHL wants. So the biggest issue right now is, I think, the what is it called? The limited right of entry, and basically they want HDOA to basically accept everybody on ours, and we're working with our legal counsel just to see if we can work that out. If not, I think it's gonna just be a little bit of what is it called? Working with them to just make sure that the partners are going to have their own LROEs. I don't think it's nothing super complicated, but
Okay.
for whatever reason, they really want us to have, I guess, be the owner of everybody, and we're trying to work through that.
Sure. Okay. It sounds positive, I guess, in that relationship. I just wanted to make sure if we needed to put pressure on them to put more energy into this access and to work on this issue, even from a DHHL standpoint, we should be. So I'm not afraid to knock on their door as well and say, look, do not, don't ignore this need. But if you're saying that their process is moving forward there and you're not running into any roadblocks, I'm happy to hear that. We need to know what the roadblocks are. We can't help if we don't know. So if it's something that needs to come up through our elected officials, please bring it up, because we want to help. We need to be ahead of this. So thank you so much for your time this evening, your continued effort, even in this uphill battle. Mahalo to everybody that's participating in it. So seeing no other hands, Jonathan, I'm going to say mahalo to you. Thank you so much for your presentation this evening. Be safe, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Yep. Thank you for the opportunity.
Mahalo. Okay, members, we're going to move on. Do we have anyone from Congresswoman Joe Tokuda's office? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to recognize that it is 9:33. We do have board business ahead of us, recognizing only 4 members present. We're unable to take action on that. So we're going to defer that to February, which brings us to our meeting announcements. I do want to take this time to introduce our NCO assistant, Lyndon, who's going to share a really exciting update with us. Lyndon, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Just to let you guys know, we have a new NA who will be taking over the board. Her name is Rachel Cristobal, and she's right here next to me. I want to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel, and then I'm excited to join in on your meetings and listen what's going on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We want to mahalo the NCO. Lyndon obviously is not going to be, leaving the NCO.
No.
Just not our board. Okay.
Yeah.
We want to mahalo Lyndon for his service to our board, to our community during this time with us. And we want to welcome you, Rachel, in the role that you're going to be facilitating moving forward. We're happy to welcome you into our community. If there's anything that we can assist with, we would be more than willing to do so. So, Lyndon, we will miss you, but we're going to bother you still.
Yep.
And
around.
we're going to continue on. Next Neighborhood Commission Office Commission meeting is scheduled for January 22nd, 2024, 6 p.m. on WebEx at Kapala Mahale, first floor conference room, room 153. Next Waimānalo Neighborhood Board meeting will be scheduled for Monday, February 12th, 24 at 7 p.m. Will be a hybrid meeting. We will be meeting here again at the Waimānalo Public Library, and then we will have the WebEx access as well. The Olelo broadcast schedule, I'm assuming the 2024 broadcast schedule will continue to be consistent and the same. We'll confirm that at our next meeting. Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board meeting number 1, they're scheduled on the last Thursday of the month. Kahalu'u Neighborhood Board number 29, scheduled on the second Wednesday of the month. Kaneohe Neighborhood Board number 30th, scheduled on the third Thursday of the month. And finally, our Kailua Neighborhood Board number 31 is scheduled on the first Thursday of the month. If you are interested in participating in their meetings, please join them, confirming at honolulu.gov/NCO. For those that have not signed up for the receipt of our agenda and meeting minutes via mail or via email, please do so at the NCO website, honolulu.gov/NCO. Where you'll have the opportunity to receive it ahead of time so that you're prepared to engage in the conversations and kind of know what's happening surrounding our Waimānalo community. A mailing list is being maintained for interested parties and agencies to receive the board's agendas and minutes. If you have any questions about that, please contact the NCO at 768-3710 or at nco@honolulu.gov. We welcome you to join us in the future. With that being said, we are going to give any other updates?
Nope.
We're going to call this meeting to a close. And we want to welcome everybody to join us in February or at one of our committee meetings. We thank you guys for rejoining us after the power outage. Stay safe, be well, and we will go ahead and adjourn at 9:36. Mahalo kako, ahui ho, be safe.
Good night, everybody.
Mahalo.